All right, I traded in my Model 3. I picked up my Cybertruck. I look so cool with my door wedge on the street. That's important, I guess. I charged it up last night, but this is actually costing quite a bit more than my Model 3. Yeah, pickups tend to not be quite as efficient as sedans. Yeah, but I thought Cybertruck was supposed to be super efficient. It's aerodynamic and it's got the structural battery pack and all that. It's very efficient for a pickup truck, but it's still using like almost twice as much energy as your Model 3 was. Oh, but no gas. I thought, no gas means cheap. Why is this more expensive? The more electricity you use, the more you have to pay for. But no gas! I'm sorry. It's supposed to be cheap! By Tesla Solar? The Cybertruck design is incredibly controversial. That's one of the things I love about it, even though I'm not a pickup truck owner myself and I have no intention on buying a Cybertruck or really any pickup truck of any kind for the foreseeable future. I don't think my lifestyle justifies one and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But I gotta admit, I love the passion that so much of the Tesla community has surrounding it. It's finally like a futuristic Blade Runner looking vehicle that's actually planning to be built at extreme scale. I can't wait for the day when we just spot Cybertrucks as commonly as Model 3s and Ys, because it'll really feel like, okay, we're living in the 2020s now, instead of just more renditions of the RAV4 over and over and over again. So I love the design. I think it's incredibly utility focused, functional, aerodynamic, and prioritizing scale and profitability, which I think is important for automakers. So I'm a huge fan of the design, and clearly, based on internet traffic alone, this vehicle is the most anticipated, possibly of all time, but definitely of 2023. Electric cars are the future, and Tesla is leading that electrification charge, and this is their first pickup truck, which in the United States at least, that's the best-selling vehicles we have. So I understand completely all of the hype around it, but I've got to admit, I've seen many people in the Tesla community, and I'm not naming names here, but many people that are very interested in picking up their Cybertruck and maybe selling or trading in their current Tesla for the Cybertruck once it becomes available. Some of you may even be considering selling Tesla stock to cover the price of the Cybertruck because it's just so futuristic and different looking, so sharp, so angular. It embraces that brutalism when it comes to a car's exterior, and because it stands so much in the crowd, so many people are willing to buy the Cybertruck. In fact, Sawyer Merritt agrees with me, a lot of people that don't necessarily buy pickup trucks are actually considering buying the Cybertruck now simply because of its iconic, recognizable look and the fact that it will stand out in an ocean parking lot of traditional SUVs and sedans. But I think that's actually starting to work a little bit against the Tesla mission, really, when you think about it, because regardless of how efficient the Cybertruck is, and I personally think it will be the most efficient pickup truck on the market, I'm estimating around 80 miles per gallon equivalent. That would beat the Rivian, that would beat the F-150 Lightning, and it would easily beat the Hummer EV, I think by a factor of 2 when it comes to energy efficiency per mile. But still, 80 miles per gallon equivalent is gonna be worse than the Model X Plaid with its 3 motors and ultra heavy design, and just the size of the Cybertruck, its larger tires, and I personally still think it will be lighter than most other electric trucks, but still relatively heavy compared to other Teslas, considering it's got the rear wheel steering, it's got a beefed up air suspension, it's huge, by the way, much bigger than a Model X. Even when they reduced the size by 5%, it's got that vault cover, it's got a sub trunk in the bed, all of that steel wrapped around it. The 4680 batteries, as far as we can tell right now, are less energy dense than 2170 cells, so even when Tesla made the structural battery pack version with the 4680 Model Y, that ended up weighing the same as the long-range Model Y, even though it didn't go as far on a charge. So I'm estimating the Cybertruck to be around 6,000 pounds, and I think the problem of the Cybertruck being so cool and so iconic, and I know lots of people hate the design, but you keep watching videos about the Cybertruck, so please just stop. But for all of you Cybertruck enthusiasts out there, I'm hyped with you. I'm excited for any and all tiny updates. I want to talk about like the texture of the capacitive buttons and the refresh rate of the display and whether or not they put a Model S and X graphics card in there, but I'm worried that there is a growing number of the Tesla fan base that is buying the Cybertruck purely for the aesthetics and not so much the utility, and then it kind of creates the inverse effect of what the Cybertruck was intending to be. Its goal was to be more utility focused than an F-150, but of course achieve all of that that with a much more aerodynamic, much more durable, and efficient design language so that ultimately all of us would be driving more efficient vehicles. But now that I see so many people that are considering like, oh, I'm gonna trade in my Model 3 or my Model Y for a Cybertruck, we're actually displacing a lot of efficient vehicles for the sake of less efficient vehicle that looks cooler. And for sure, the Cybertruck's way better than driving around any gas pickup truck, and it will definitely use less energy, in my opinion, than a Hummer EV, probably a bit less than a Rivian and a Lightning as well. But still, ultimately, because Tesla's captured this market and capitalized on it, you know, with all the cyber merch and cyber accessories, and embraced this Cybertruck cool factor of being different and sharp and angular, it's convincing a lot of Tesla fans out there to stop driving around their energy efficient vehicles like their Ys and 3s in favor of a less efficient vehicle that's going to take more energy to charge, be a larger strain on the grid, eat into those cost savings a bit more, and probably even wear out our roads a bit faster as well because of this extra weight, larger tires. And I know that's not everyone. I'm not trying to accuse everybody who ordered a Cybertruck as someone that is kind of reversing the trend of supporting more sustainable energy forms, but I just worry that the United States overall still has this huge obsession and love for pickup trucks. And sure, there's a lot of people that can justify it because they, you know, work on a farm or have livestock or are towing regularly for their business or hauling equipment or brush or, you know, stuff around all the time. But I definitely think, at least where I live, there is a huge chunk of pickup truck buyers, and I've heard many people talk about this out east and in the central US as well, of people that are just buying pickups for like the occasional I throw something in the bed, but it has more to do with just the overall look and feel of knowing, yeah, I'm in a pickup truck, I'm high off the ground, I'm in a big old truck, and I like the way I look in the truck because trucks get stuff done. You guys probably, just like me, have seen some of these pickup trucks that people have modded out there that clearly are not being used for work. It is just a show-off thing, and inherently, you know, pickup trucks with that bed design, basically like driving around with a parachute out the back. It's horrible for aerodynamics. Their larger tires and stuff are horrible for efficiency, and I'm not trying to say no pickup trucks should exist. Clearly, there's people that use them appropriately, but I definitely think that there's a decent chunk of the market, I don't know if it's 20% or 40% or hopefully not more than 50%, but there's a decent chunk of people out there that buy trucks for those very, very rare edge cases, but mostly buy them as more of a fashion piece. They like the way they look in them, they like the way the truck looks, and they like the way that reflects on them. So they drive around a more dangerous, a more rugged, inefficient vehicle that's straining our grid, and in the case with gas vehicles, it's polluting more, it's causing more particulate emissions, and that's ruining our lungs and causing all kinds of problems for our atmosphere for the sake of, I want to look good, yeah, I want to look nice. There's lots of people that are driving these pickup trucks around with literally just one person. There's a lot of people that drive these trucks just like they're commuter vehicles because, well, that's my truck, it's my car, and, you know, I want to drive my car and I like the way I look in it, so they continue to drive just themselves this big, heavy, inefficient vehicle. And I think kind of the whole purpose we're switching to electric vehicles is to try to focus more on sustainability and energy efficiency. And I get the mindset of companies and brands trying to showcase that, yeah, even with batteries and electric powertrains, we can have amazing performance and great utility, and we can replicate all of the great things about pickup trucks with electric versions. But I worry that if the Cybertruck carries over that stigma of it needs to be cool, it needs to be stylish, and a lot of people, you know, want to dance with the Cybertruck in their music videos, this kind of perpetuates that obsession with more inefficient designs that you don't necessarily need. Are there people out there that need to have a bed and need to be able to tow and need to be able to haul their whole family around while they're doing it? Absolutely. And I'm willing to give Americans the benefit of the doubt. Some of you may disagree with me, but I'm willing to admit that the vast majority of pickup truck buyers actually do need their pickup truck for something. I'm gonna hope at least once a week, I would say, but I gotta estimate that it's somewhere between like 20 and 40% of pickup truck buyers, especially when F-150, Chevy Silverado, and Ram 1500 pickup trucks are the best sellers in the country. Do you guys really think the majority of driving needs all that storage space and needs to be towing stuff all the time or moving things constantly? I really don't. At least when I've driven in my lifetime, vast majority of the time I see pickup trucks on the road, there's usually nothing in the bed, and more often than not, there's usually one or two people in the truck, and they're just driving it because, well, you know, sometimes I need the truck, but it could be like twice a year, it could be 4 times a year, in which case maybe borrowing a truck from a friend might be better, or just renting one for the day rather than just driving it around as your commuter commuter vehicle polluting a lot more, and even if it's full electric, pulling it from the grid, which is not 100% clean right now. A lot of our grid is still powered by fossil fuels, but my viewpoint with electric vehicles has always been, even if you're charging 100% from a coal power plant, the miles per gallon equivalent is so much better than a gas vehicle, and the pollution is more centralized at that power plant rather than at the tailpipe, which that's where the car is driving around our city streets, around our neighborhoods, and polluting right in front of us. You know, there's a reason we don't put the exhaust pipes inside the car, you know, because there's deadly toxins and gases coming out of that pipe. That's why we put it on the back of the car. Similarly, I would rather move that tailpipe to the power plant if possible, but that argument really only works when the energy efficiency is astronomically higher than that of gas vehicles. And my fear with this obsession with bigger and bigger trucks, and a lot of people saying, oh no, I want the Cybertruck to be bigger, I want it to be wider and have more wheels, and I want an extended bed option and all that, is it kind of perpetuates the, okay, we're coming back to that point where the energy consumption is getting closer to that of a Hummer. And I know relatively that's still going to be better than a gas vehicle, but it's going to take some time for our grid to transition, and I still think there's some positive habits that we can learn from this process of trying to be more efficient. And also, for a lot of you potential Cybertruck buyers out there, I want you to think of the bigger picture of how Tesla basically raises prices when demand is high and supply is low. So when there's a ton of demand for something like the Cybertruck, they can price it as high as they want because they know there's a huge list of people waiting to buy it. So if everybody's convinced, no, I need a Cybertruck, I want a Cybertruck, I need to get one, that's why I'm warning you guys all the time. They can get away with charging $90,000 to $100,000 per truck because they know, well, someone's gonna buy it, we've got the demand, right? And I just worry that some of the actual pickup truck buyers that need this pickup for work or for recreational use of actually moving things around, who are gonna take advantage of its features, there's a decent chance that a lot of those like true pickup truck buyers are gonna get priced out by the ultra fanboys out there that are just buying the Cybertruck simply because it looks cool and they want the new latest and greatest tech from Tesla, and because it'll turn so many more heads than a Model Y, that's why I'm buying the Cybertruck, not because I actually have that many people in my car all the time, or I need the bed, or I need to go off-roading. Frankly, I think there's probably gonna be a lot of rich Tesla fans that buy the Cybertruck at a super high price because they just want to record a bunch of TikToks with it and post about it on Twitter so they can show off, I got it first! And I'm still trying to be hopeful. You know, I'm hoping that over time, as the Cybertruck becomes more widespread, maybe it'll lose a little bit of that wow factor and less people will buy it simply for the look, and maybe go back to their Model Ys and 3s and realize, hey, these things are actually using way less energy than the Cybertruck was, and I saved myself a ton of money by driving this car around. Plus, pickup trucks usually cost way more to insure, so for financial motivations, I think a lot of people might buy the Cybertruck and then realize, oh wait, even though it's electric, it still costs a lot more to own than my Model 3 or Y did, and that might bring them back to more energy efficient practices. So hopefully that happens. But what do you guys think? What's the percentage of pickup truck buyers that are buying them just for the looks and the aesthetics? And do you think that's a problem when we're trying to encourage better energy consumption practices, not trying to use more energy than we need to? Or are you guys against the concept of pickup trucks entirely? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.